Hello, and welcome to the FM podcast. I'm Jen Fritz, and I run Fritz Media, a music publicity and digital marketing firm located in Vancouver, Canada. And this is episode number 18 of the podcast. So this week on the show, we're going to talk about how indie artists have to DIY it at the beginning of their career, which I know can seem like a lot when you're just starting out. And joining me on the show this week is Edmonton indie pop musician Kaeley Jade. Now, when Kaeley released her first single a couple years ago, she completely immersed herself in the music industry and began learning all aspects of the music business. I met Kaeley earlier this year when she started working with Fritz Media. Yes, she is a client. And I was so impressed with how much she was doing herself and how well she was doing it that, she seemed like the perfect person to talk to about how to do it yourself. And I'm sure she'll have some really good tips for you. We had a great talk, and I hope you enjoy it. Here's my conversation with Kaeley Jade. Well, hello, Kaeley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
You know, as well as anyone can be during this very troubled time.
Yeah, I feel like every day is a brand new adventure, so I get it.
Yeah, it really is. You're in Alberta, right?
I am, yeah.
You're in Edmonton.
Yeah.
How are things going in Alberta?
Things are going in Alberta. I don't know. I feel like case rates are kind of scary still, but we're still kind of in a third. What wave are we in? Third wave lockdown? I don't. Yes. I've lost count. There's so many waves. We're still kind of under pretty strict lockdown, and but it's been good. I've been trying to get outside and enjoy the spring weather. Although it did snow 2 days ago. So now we have snow again, but it's been good.
That's like typical Alberta spring, right? Anything can happen.
Yeah, I was like, oh, no surprise there. We've had snow in June before. This is all good. July. Oh, cool, more snow. So I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So full disclosure, you are a Fritz Media client. We are currently handling the publicity for your new single, Painless, which just came out last month. And I wanted to have you on the show to talk about how musicians can DIY it at the beginning of their career, because I was really impressed with your level of DIY that you had. Yeah, wow. That you had before coming to work with us. So let's start with the beginning of your music career, because you're pretty new to the music industry, right? So
yeah.
So how did it all start for you?
Well, I've been actually performing since the age of 9. I've done shows kind of in and around Alberta from a very young age. So performing was always sort of my forte. That was kind of what I wanted to do. And I'd actually gone to the studio on a couple occasions hoping to record. I was I think 10 or 11 the first time, and then 14 the next time. And it never really felt like the right time. I never really committed. I wasn't feeling it. So finally, how old was I? I was 20, I think. How old? I don't even know. 2 years ago, I finally was like, this is the time. I'm going to actually commit to this. I have some songs that are my own that I have written that I'm really excited about. So finally went to the studio and put out my first album in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. So great way to kick off a music career, not being able to play live at all. But it's been some great learning experiences so far.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what I was really impressed with is your level of just doing everything by yourself. There is a certain amount that you do have to do when you first start your career. I think it's really, really good to do that. So when you went to release your first single, how did you approach the release of it? Did you Google how to do it? How do I promote my song? Or maybe go to Alberta Music for resources? What was your approach?
Kind of all of the above. I'm very fortunate that the company that I recorded my music with, Velveteen Music, they kind of gave me a few resources to sort of look into. And yes, with the power of Google. And yes, I actually did have a meeting with Alberta Music and just kind of asked some questions. So I think all of that really helped me build a successful release.
Yeah. And what did you learn while you were doing it? Like when you were pitching your music yourself, like pitching to, doing the publicity or pitching to radio. What did you learn? Like any tips that you can maybe pass along?
Email skills are really, really important. Like, of course, like the basic, like spell check, grammar, like that's all like basic stuff. But like, I think it's really important to have your own voice shine through in what you're talking about. You have to be passionate about what you're talking about. And if you can find a way to say it eloquently too, that's always a huge bonus. I think, yeah, like bottom line is professionalism goes a long way when you're dealing with people. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. Like I've sent so many emails now, and it's always, definitely not all of them have given me prosperous results, but just I think committing to that and doing that and putting in the groundwork will go a long way.
No, that's totally true. That's really good advice. The worst that someone can say is no, right? So you should, if you want to reach out to somebody, but
Yeah.
be prepared for what comes back.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like they could say no, they could be like, "Oh, you suck," but it's still all good teaching experience in the end, I think.
Yeah, it's true. And I think that another important thing to remember, especially as an artist pitching your own music, what you said, like be authentic, be true to yourself, like that needs to shine through. Like I need to hear your voice in the email. That's the same for social media as well, right? So don't copy and paste. Like you're going to copy and paste some element of it for sure. But, make sure that you kind of make the person on the other end feel like a human, like maybe say something about, what it is they do so that you can connect, right?
Yeah. And even like my email, I've been doing the radio tracking for my song Painless right now, and just sort of, yeah, like shooting emails into the ether and seeing what happens. But yeah, like I did do the research. Like you kind of have to like look up the radio station that you're pitching to, find out the programs that you might fit into, figure out who the staff is, and figure out like how to talk to them. I think that's all so important. And it's so time consuming. Like it takes me forever to do, but I think like it does pay off in the end. People will remember that instead of just a random stock sort of email that they get sent, because they get sent those all the time. So the more you can stand out, the better.
Yeah, it is true. And yeah, it is time consuming. I do know because that's my job. And I think that kind of leads into, I think it's so important for artists at the beginning of their career to do it themselves, just because if you're doing it, you learn how to do it. And that means, when you come to someone like me, you know what you're asking for a little bit, right? Like you're like, I kind of did it myself, so I kind of know how to do it. So I know sort of what it is that you're doing. But yeah, it is time consuming. So when do you think like it is a good time for artists to think about hiring someone or adding people to their team instead of doing it themselves?
Well, I'm still new at this. Like I should, full disclaimer, I still consider myself an emerging artist. So I felt like this time around, like I understood the amount of work that it took the first time around when I was releasing music, especially with all of the radio emails that I wanted to send on top of doing press.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel like you can get all of it done yourself, then definitely hire someone if you think that'll be helpful. Yes, but especially if you have the funding, if you have access to funding, like that's like grant funding, that's like the gold. It's the gold. You got to get that gold.
Get the money.
Yeah. Because then it makes it a lot easier to be able to hire team members that'll help you and support you in your journey.
No, totally. And, that's something that even what you said is something that I still am learning. Even though that you can do it, like you might be able to do the task, that doesn't mean you're going to have time to do the task, right? So
that's what I struggle with so much. Like, I mean, I wouldn't call myself a control freak or anything, but like, I definitely do like to do things a certain way too. So for me to like actually give up control to someone else, it takes a lot of trust. But then there comes a point when you actually don't have time. Like if you're working on other projects or you're starting to tour, like this pandemic, I've had a lot more free time with the first album just because there was nothing to do. No one really figured anything out. But now like there's a lot more online events that I've been kind of a part of. So yeah, I don't have time. So if you don't have time, definitely bring someone on.
Well, listen, I am a control freak, so
that's why I hired you. That's why you're in my corner. It's because I feel like we vibe and we think similarly. So I was like, there we go. Perfect.
No, we totally vibed. We vibed at the beginning because you were so organized, and I was like, oh my God, She is like the perfect client. I'm so happy.
Pro tip number 2, be organized.
Exactly. It was so amazing. Just like the way you had everything laid out for me. I was like, this is perfect.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. I feel like we think the same way. You like to be organized in the same way that I like to be organized, right? And that is part of it for sure. Something that I really, really like about you is you're very aware of your branding and your online presence. Like, for example, just like your website is a perfect example of everything that it should have. If I was going to, if an artist asked me, what's a good website, I would point them to yours, just because it's really important, for musicians to think about what is there if somebody clicks on your website. So if I'm a journalist, am I going to find everything I need when I go to your website? And you have everything. You've got a really nice bio. You have a tour section if there were tour dates, which there isn't.
Hopefully someday.
But like the one thing I like the most is the way that you have your press coverage laid out. I think it's incredible. And I've never seen it. I've never seen any other artist do it that way. So I'm wondering where you came up with it. Like, was it a template you saw, or did you see another artist do it, or?
Honestly, I can't even tell you how that came to be. I think I was like, oh, I need to make sure that I look desirable to people who are going to hire me. So I should put all my press coverage on my website. And that's exactly what happened. And then I was like, oh, there's a cool little grid way I could lay it out. So I think it was very organic, its conception, but it's been kind of fun to build on too, because it's whether I choose to keep it public or private or whatever, like it's still kind of a database of all of the press that I've received. So it was definitely helpful for me in that way.
No, and it looks really good. And just listener, because you don't know what the hell we're talking about probably right now, is she has it laid out like a grid. So each piece of press coverage is a square with the logo of the outlet, and then it's clickable, right? Like I can click through to the press. So yeah, it's amazing. Like it's a really concise way of looking at it and clicking on it. I really enjoyed it. So you might want to check that out on her website, people.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was like, I don't know if this is something people do, but I'm going to do it. So it's really affirming for me, actually.
I was so excited. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've seen. This is so amazing. Now, you have a background in visual art. You're a visual artist as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you think that has something to do with the way that you think about your branding and your online presence?
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't really call myself like a trained visual artist. I took art all through school, like high school and stuff, and I've continued well into my young adulthood, and now where I am, I still draw all the time. But yeah, I think that stuff really comes through in the work that I do, like especially with the Painless music video. I really wanted to take a project that combined all of my different skills. So I think it definitely shows in certain areas, and it makes it easier for me too. When I'm trying to figure out what I want to say, sometimes it's easier for me to turn to visuals.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I just something clicked with me too. Is I'm a very visual thinker too, so I think that's where we have the simpatico. I think it's. I like to see things laid out. It makes me very happy.
Yeah, my to-do lists are everywhere, so I gotta see it. I gotta see everything.
Too. I'm exactly the same way. So, as I mentioned, you're kind of just starting out in the music industry. I'm wondering, what are some goals that you have for the next few years? Do you have any big plans?
I would love to record a full-length album. It terrifies me. I don't know. There's something that I have weird mentally about doing a full-length album as opposed to like another EP. That's something that I would really like to tackle. I would love to kind of join the festival circuit. I'd love to plan a tour in the next little bit, because that's something I kind of was robbed of with the pandemic, like so many other artists, was the ability to tour. I feel like as a DIY artist, I've kind of done like most of what I would need to do except for planning a tour. That's kind of the one thing that I haven't yet, so I'm kind of chomping at the bit to be able to do that. So I guess those are the two major things.
Yeah, it's... when do you think you're going to be able to do some tour dates? Are you thinking like maybe next year, or?
Kind of hoping so. I'm still trying to figure out like when I want to go back into the studio too. Still trying to figure out if there's ever going to be a right time to tour the first album. I'm hoping to do some fun little shows over the summer around Alberta, but we'll see how that goes. Like it's kind of
who knows,
play by ear. Exactly. It's like I don't So I wish I had more concrete things to tell you, but everything's so up in the air. I've just been trying not to schedule too much here, because then I will get sad if things get canceled,
Oh, yeah.
basically.
No, I hear you. Like, it's just since the beginning of the pandemic, it's just been a series of people planning for things, and then, well, I guess we're gonna have to push that again, and
Yeah.
it's really weird, like, especially for what I do to have a single out or have an album out and not have any tour to go along with it. It's been a really weird way to do publicity over this time. Okay, so you said that Alberta Music helped you out, and the power of Google helped you out as well. Was there any particular things like maybe a blog or a newsletter or something like that helped you figure things out and helped you DIY it at the beginning that you maybe want to pass along to other musicians?
Ooh, I'm trying to think of like specific blogs. I don't know if I have any specific like resources. I feel like it was very, very much like I was like, "Hello, Google, how do I do this thing?" And then I was like, "Oh, click. This is the first thing that comes up." Kind of seeing that way. But I'm very fortunate that I have some friends in the music industry that I was able to shoot some questions towards and have them sort of give me their expertise. I'm very much a copycat in how I learn. Like if I don't know something, I'll look at other people. So that's kind of what I mostly did, was kind of be like, okay, who are some people that are sort of near my level or like where I want to get to, and what are they doing? Like how are they doing things? Kind of looking through their website, looking at their merch and stuff, like just figuring out what they do and then applying it to my own self and how I do my own thing, sort of.
No, that's really great advice, actually. I tell artists to do that all the time too. Like, think of an artist that you want to model yourself after, or maybe even someone that is at your level, and just have a look at how they're doing things, and see who they work with. Yeah, I think that's great advice, and also the power of Google. It's all there for you. You can.
Yeah, we're very lucky to live in an information age. Like everything is right at our fingertips all the time. So it's nice for sure. Like of course there's definitely like obstacles for some people with technology, but for the majority of people it's like right there for you to get, as long as you just reach for it.
No, it's totally true. So when you're doing everything yourself, was there something that you found to be particularly difficult that you were like, "Oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing. What is this?"
Uh, Actually, like figuring out merch was really hard. I don't know why it was so difficult for me, but so I wanted to design everything myself and kind of integrate those skills. So all my merch I've done myself, but it was kind of like, okay, how can I like one, be sustainable and kind of environmentally friendly with this? Like two, I'd love to support local businesses in any way that I can. So like kind of finding those values and figuring out how to achieve that and how to price merch and how to ship merch. Like that's all stuff that is hard to find on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that was harder for me because I couldn't really find a lot on the internet and kind of had to ask people what they were doing to see how that would work. Yeah.
No, that totally makes sense. I think it's like one of those things that has a lot of steps to it, right? So there's like, you have to design it, and then you have to find someone to make it for you. And
yeah, and like, how are you gonna ship it? I don't know. What are you gonna do? Yeah, it's all like a very multi-step process.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, when you finally do get to book your tour, it's kind of the same process. So you're already ready for that. I feel like, because you're used to these multi-step processes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
I'm hoping so. And I have been like booking shows myself for like I'm my own booking agent too, right? So it's been like a lot. How am I trying to say? I've put in a lot more years of booking myself than I have of kind of any of the other stuff, really, because I was sort of a cover artist at very first part of my career. So that part is a little bit more familiar to me.
Well, that's why you're so good at pitching, because you have to do so much cold emailing when you're booking your shows, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. I think that's the part that kind of scares people, is doing those cold emails and just like sending them off into the ether and hoping somebody responds.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that booking side of it, I find is probably one of the parts of the industry I would never want to do. And it's also because of how many parts there is. Like you're sending so many emails and you're hoping people get back to you, and then there's so much setup that has to go through. And I guess that's probably why so many artists want a booking agent. Like that's always like the thing when you ask an artist, they're like, who would you like to have on your team? I'd like a booking agent. Is that something like you think about that you would like? Obviously, I mean, I know that you obviously do, but are you comfortable doing it for a while? Or are you, chomping at the bit to get a booking agent?
I want to do it myself for a bit. Like that's, yeah, like I kind of had mentioned before, it's kind of the last thing that I haven't done really, like to a great degree, is like tour booking. So I kind of want to try it out myself and learn the process before I bring someone else on. But eventually, yeah, that would be really great because I'm sure they could do a way better job than I could. Even though if I learn and I'm not bad at it, like the connections that they have, I think would be way more than what I would have. So eventually, yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah, that's just it, right? Like again, it's that thing of I can do it, but it's not my job. So
yeah,
obviously someone's going to be better at it, right?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, it's so crazy. I learn that lesson all the time because of my control issues. So
See, we get it.
It's fun being me, Kaeley. So fun. Oh man. Before we wrap up here, I think we've touched on the amount of DIY that artists can do. Are there any like other tips that you might have to pass along to artists that are maybe just starting out?
Yeah, honestly, a couple of my biggest things, like I think that everyone should try and attend music conferences if they're able to, attend panels and info sessions. I don't know, it's very scary and you might not want to, but like what you're going to learn out of that experience I think is so beneficial. Actually, a lot of what I learned in the last year has been just from attending music conferences. And also like find mentors in your industry. If you are able to find a mentor, you are golden. And that's really hard and that's really scary too, especially if you are not very connected. But that's kind of how you meet people, is through the conferences and the panels and the sessions. So you meet all sorts of people from all over the industry, and a lot of times someone will know someone else. So
no, that's very true.
That's my advice.
I've been missing those conferences. I never thought I'd say that. Sometimes I'm like, oh, another conference. But in this past year, I'm just like, I really miss just seeing everybody in the industry and making those connections. And you're right, like just one little connection can lead to so many things, right? Like somebody might think of you or pass your name along to somebody else. So it is really good. Network, people. That's the bottom line.
Oh, I'm so bad at it. I don't like schmoozing. That's never been my thing. But I do love having real conversations with people. So
yeah,
if I'm ever able to do that, that's so great to me. I love connecting with people, but the schmoozing, not so much. Sometimes you gotta, but I don't like it very much.
It's the worst. I totally know. It's very awkward sometimes. Like when you're just like, especially if you're just like talking to someone and you're not connecting with them in any way. It's just like, you're like, I'm just gonna leave now. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, nice to talk to you. I'm gonna go stand by myself.
I'll be over here.
See you.
So, all right. Well, this feels like a good time for us to head on over to our fresh content segment. Now, every week on the show, we discuss our favorite piece of music content for the week, and we always like to start with the guest. So, Kaeley, what do you got for us?
My thing right now, the Lone Bellow just released their deluxe edition of Half Moon Light, and you should check it out because they're one of my favorite bands. They've been inspiring me for the last couple of years, like hardcore. Like they're behind a lot of my new stuff that I've been kind of writing. They're just they're so amazing. Their harmonies are beautiful. I love them so much. So you should check it out.
That sounds great. That's a very great tip. I love it. All right. So my fresh content for the week is the brand new single from Sharon Van Etten and Angel Olsen that just came out. It just came out last week and it's called Like I Used To. And I love both of these ladies. I feel like they made the song for me. So it's kind of a little bit on the classic country side, a little bit on the old school, like, girl group sort of vibe, a little Springsteen-y, and I'm basically obsessed with it. And also the video is fantastic as well. So make sure you check that out too. And we'll link to all of those things in the show notes for everybody. So I guess that's it. So thanks so much for joining us, Kaeley. And is there anything else you want to plug? Maybe we should tell people your website since, I talk so much about it.
Yeah, sure. My website is www.kaeleyjade.com. And if you don't know how to spell my name, that's okay. Not a lot of people do, but it is Kaeley. And then Jade, like the cool green rock.com.
I love it. I always, I had to teach my brain how to spell your name when we first started working together because I kept screwing it up, but I have it totally embedded.
Well, it's like
now.
my mom when I was born. She's like, I don't want anyone to ever find my daughter. So I'm going to name her this.
Thanks, Mom. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me today and have a good rest of your night. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that one. And thanks again to Kaeley for coming on the show this week. Thanks so much for listening to the FM podcast. If you like the show, please tell your friends and give us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts. The FM podcast is produced by Fritz Media. If you want to learn more about Fritz Media, check out our website at fritzmedia.ca. And you can follow us on Facebook, we're at Fritz Media, and on Instagram and Twitter at Fritz_media. And if you'd like to learn more about the podcast, go to thefmpodcast.com. A big thank you to Said the Whale for providing the theme music for the show, and you can find them at saidthewhale.com. Okay, so we're going to go out with our song of the week this week, and of course, we're going to go out with some Kaeley Jade. Here's her latest single. This is Painless.
It'd been so long, I had forgotten that the war is still on. I couldn't see what I was standing on. Now a landmine's trigger set to go off. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't know. Since we went through this 'cause look at this big mess. You said it'd be painless.
Bye. I'll see you next Tuesday.